What is going on, Internet world? My name is Tom. You probably know me as Rivet, and I'm your coach of the Atlanta Braviaries, the highest flying fly-cycle team on YouTube. And we are here with our semifinals matchup for the ISL Shield Division against the St. John Sharpedos and Coach Crann. This is going to be a great match. Welcome to the workshop. Alrighty guys, we are here breaking down our matchup for our semifinals game against the St. John Sharpedos and Coach Crann. He's got a really tough team, but I think we have a good squad to take him on this week. We did fight Crann in the regular season. We won 4-0, I believe, but since then he has made a bunch of changes to his team, so it's wildly different. This may work out to my advantage, as I am notoriously bad at playing teams twice in a season, or a season and then playoffs. So we'll hop into this match. Breakdown, his first mon is Infernape, an incredibly scary fire and fighting type capable of doing pretty much anything. It's got great mixed attacking stats and a fantastic speed tier at base 108. It's got moves like Flare Blitz in close combat, U-Turn, Earthquake, Stone Edge, Poison Jabs, Rock Slide. It just gets so many moves on the physical side. And on the special side, it can run moves like Flamethrower and Fire Blast, Focus Blast, Grass Knot, some other moves. It gets Vacuum Wave and Mach Punch for priority. It can set up in both aspects with Swords Dance and Nasty Plot. It can also Agility. It's a great Choice Band user, a great Choice Scarf user, or just, Choice Specs. It can set rocks. It can recover with Slack Off. It does pretty much everything. So definitely got to be worried about Infernape. I really don't know what it's going to be. I would expect either a Choice Scarf set this week with mixed attacks, maybe like Flare Blitz, Focus Blast, or Close Combat, Grass Knot, and U-Turn, or like a setup set. Because it definitely, a scarf variant is a great revenging option for my Mega Beedrill, or just a setup set is a really good option to scare at some of my faster offensive threats like Hydreigon and Blacephalon. So I definitely have to be wary of Infernape, figure out what set it is so I don't lose one of my most important mons to a surprise. Next up, he's got Sylveon. Sylveon's incredibly bulky fairy type, fantastic Wish Passer and Cleric, and very offensive with Pixelate Hyper Voices. It can Mystical Fire and Psychic as well. Obviously passes off those big wishes. It can Protect and Heal Bell. So definitely expecting Sylveon. It's a huge pain in the butt. It stops a lot of my big special offensive stuff like Hydreigon, Blacephalon, and Raikou. So I definitely got to try to take care of Sylveon as quickly as possible so it doesn't sit around and just keep the entire team alive. Next up, he's got Superior, a very fast grass type with the contrary ability. It spams Leaf Storms. It can set up substitutes and clear some stuff, set Leech Seeds. So hopefully it doesn't come just because Togekiss shuts it down pretty good, Skarmory shuts it down pretty good, as does Mega Beedrill, and I have a few different revenging options for it. So I'm hoping Superior doesn't come. If it does come, it's probably a Sub-Glare Leech Seed Leaf Storm set, or maybe he's Choice Scarf. But even at like +4, Leaf Storm is doing under half to Mega Beedrill. I can easily pop a sub and then go out to something else. Next up, he's got Rhyperior, a very bulky and offensive ground and rock type. Very big defense and attack. I believe 140 attack and 130 defense. This is his best switch into Mega Beedrill. This combination of its massive bulk and Solid Rock ability means that U-turns, Poison Jabs, and Drill Runs aren't going to be doing a whole lot. He can punish me with Rocky Helmet. That's what he brought last time. I would expect the same set again. Just fully physically defensive with Rocky Helmet to punish Beedrill. So definitely got to be careful of how I handle Rhyperior. I have a couple good switch-ins to it, namely Skarmory, that can shut it down pretty good, but last time he did bring counter on it, so I have to be pretty careful that I don't lose Skarmory. I can't like body press into it and just get insta-crushed by a counter. Next up, he's got Duraludon, a very scary Steel and Dragon type. Very solid special attack at base 120, and then solid physical defense at 115 as well. Draco Meteors and Flash Cannons hit really hard. It gets Thunderbolt and Dragon Pulse, and just Steel Beam for added moves. It can set Stealth Rocks. I believe it gets Thunder Wave. So Duraludon in this match, not sure if it comes. I have a pretty solid answer to it in Gastrodon, and Togekiss can take on those big Dracos as well. So if it comes, it's probably either a Choice Spec set or it's just a Stealth Rocking variant. He could be physically defensive with something like Iron Defense. I believe it gets Body Press. That could be another decent answer to come in against Mega Beedrill. It resists U-Turn and is immune to Poison Jab. Drill Run would do a sizable chunk, and I think that Rhyperior is just a more solid answer to it, but maybe he does that to try to catch me by surprise. Next up, he's got Guzzlord, a very bulky Dragon and Dark type. A huge weakness to Fairy, but it's a pretty good Assault Vest user. It's got a solid move pool, and it can take advantage of that big HP stat. If it comes, it's probably just there for a switch into Indeedee, because Expanding Force spam against him is pretty free. He doesn't have a whole lot that wants to take it on, as the only other resist on his team is Duraludon, and with its poor special defense, it definitely doesn't want to take those on. He could bring something, just like specially bulky Sylveon to take that on. So, definitely probably not expecting Guzzlord this week. Next up, he's got Mega Gallade, an incredibly scary wall breaker, psychic and fighting type, with the inner focus ability, blocking Intimidate post-Mega. At base 110 in speed, it's very, very fast, and 165 attack with the capability of Swords Dance boosting. It's incredibly scary to take down. Close combat and Zen Headbutt is an amazing dual stab. Gets a plethora of coverage moves and stuff like Stone Edge, Earthquake, Leaf Blade, the Elemental Punches, Poison Jab. It can Shadow Sneak for priority. It can Swords Dance and bulk up and substitute, and Drain Punch to get health back. It's just an absolute menace. So I don't have a whole lot that deals with Mega Gallade. I have Skarmory, and that's pretty much it. So hopefully Skarmory can keep it in check and not let it run me over. But if Skarm gets too weak, then I might be in trouble. Next up is Suicune, one of the most obnoxious mons on the face of the planet. I hate Suicune with an undying passion. It's a very, very bulky water type. Base 100 HP and 115 in both defenses, with respectable speed at base 85. Usually, if it comes, it's a subset with pressure stalling, either something like Sub Calm Mind, Scald, and Protect, or Sub Toxic, Protect, Scald, or something of the sort. So Suicune in this match, it's not the worst thing in the world because he needs 5 moves to really mess me up. He needs Scald, obviously. He needs Toxic so he can hit Gastrodon. And then he needs Calm Mind, Substitute, and Protect, I think, to be most annoying. So best case scenario is that he's not... best case scenario is he doesn't bring Suicune, but I think that's pretty unlikely. So I got to figure out what exactly that Suicune is and deal with it as best I can. Next up is Snorlax, a very specially bulky normal type with thick fat and gluttony abilities. Very bulky. It can run stuff like AV really well. It can run Belly Drum or just Gluttony sets with Recycle and other moves like Curse. It's got a great move pool. Body Slams can hit pretty hard. So Snorlax in this match, I hope it doesn't come. I have a couple pretty good answers to it. And stuff like Skarmory and Mega B scares it out pretty good. So hopefully Snorlax doesn't come. Next up is Lantern, a very bulky water and electric type with the Volt and Water Absorb abilities. It's a good pivot with stuff like Scald and Volt Switch. It's a good Cleric as well. It gets Heal Bell, so probably expecting Lantern in this match. It's a solid switch into Raikou, shutting down Thunderbolt plus Scald. It's also a solid Cleric. I would probably expect him to bring this, with Heal Bell, so he has room for Mystical Fire on Sylveon. So definitely worried about Lantern. If I brought Gastrodon, it would shut it down pretty hard. He could definitely bring something like Toxic. So I'm expecting, Scald, Volt Switch, Toxic, and Heal Bell, which could be pretty scary. And then last but not least, he's got Oricorio. He's got all 4 forms in there: Fire, Ghost, Psychic, and Electric. It's a pretty cool little mon. Pretty solid special attack and speed with the Dancer ability. Gets cool moves like Hurricane, Revelation Dance, and U-Turn. It's also a Defogger. So if he brings it, it's probably just there. It's either a Choice Scarf set to outspeed some stuff, or it's just there for Defog, because his only other Defogger is Superior, and that doesn't handle well against my setters like Skarmory. So I'm really hoping Oricorio doesn't come, just so I can set some hazards and keep them there, because as you'll see, that's part of my strategy for this week. So with all that out of the way, let's hop into what I am bringing this match. Leading us off, we got Euthanasia, the Mega Beedrill. Just running a standard Mega Beedrill set this week with Beedrillite and Adaptability, obviously. U-Turn, Poison Jab, Knockoff, and Toxic Spikes. Max Attack, Adamant with enough speed for Superior, and the rest thrown into HP just for some bulk. U-Turn and Poison Jab messes up this team pretty good. He's only got a couple switch-ins to Poison Jab, namely that Rhyperior. U-Turn will chunk that pretty good. He could smack me with Rocky Helmet Recoil, but I can knock off that helmet. Then I really like Toxic Spikes in this matchup. He's got a bunch of stuff that doesn't appreciate toxic damage, namely Sylveon and Suicune and that Lantern, and he also has Heal Bell on a couple stuff, but if I can somehow get 2 layers of Toxic Spikes up, that will make my life a whole lot easier, because he'll just have to continue Heal Belling. I can definitely get 1 layer up on the preliminary Rhyperior switch-in. After I've shown that hand, maybe I'll have to, be a little ballsy with trying to get another layer of Toxic Spikes up, because he'll expect me to go for it. But Euthanasia, other than the Toxic Spikes option, it just smacks his team. Infernape, if he's not a Choice Scarf, just dies to a Poison Jab. This is my best answer to kill Sylveon as well. It smashes Superior, it smashes Mega Gallade. Suicune, if he's physically invested, it doesn't do a whole lot. It only does up to like 40%, which is disgusting, but it's a really good pivot around his team in the early game this week, and hopefully I can clean up with Poison Jab in the late game. Next up, we got Wincher the Skarmory coming back. He didn't quite make Kill Leader. He finished number 2, but he's still number 1 in my heart. So this week he's running a leftover set with Sturdy, Brave Bird, Iron Head, Spikes, and Roost, fully physically defensive with 8 in speed so that Lantern can't speed creep me. This is my main answer to Mega Gallade. Brave Bird clean OHKOs that thing after a close combat if he's at -1. Iron Head is there for Sylveon. It also hits Rhyperior pretty hard. Spikes in this match are really, really good. He doesn't have solid removal. He's only got Superior and Oricorio. So, and if he's like Oricorio, Ghost, or Psychic, I match up pretty well against that thing. So, and I really don't think Oricorio comes. So hopefully I can get a couple layers of spikes up. That'll make my life a whole lot easier, being able to chip down that Gallade, Infernape, and Rhyperior so they can't come in repeatedly. And then his big stuff, just like Sylveon and Suicune, just getting preliminary chip on those when they enter the battlefield is going to make my life a whole lot easier, and then just roost for longevity. So I really hope Windshear can put in work. Its first job is to 100% check Mega Gallade, because otherwise Mega Gallade just kind of runs me. But if I can get some spikes up, I'll be really, really happy, and that'll make my life a whole lot easier, I believe. So definitely gunning for that. Next up, we got Serendipity through the Togekiss, running a heavy-duty boot set this week with Serene Grace, Air Slash, Dazzling Gleam, Heal Bell, and Roost. Max HP, 44 in speed, and then 212 in special defense with a Calm Nature. This is just a great special tank this week. It switches in on Sylveon really, really easily. You can take Toxic's, Heal Bell him off. Hyper Voice isn't doing a whole lot, and I can roost that off. This is a good switch into Superior as well, and also to Lantern. Even Volt switches from Lantern aren't doing a lot. They're only doing like 25% if he's uninvested. This is also a good switch into Special Infernape if he's something like Flamethrower, Focus Blast, Grass Knot, Nasty Plot. I can threaten really hard with an Air Slash or a Dazzling Gleam, and he won't be able to do a whole lot. If he's mixed, the worst scenario is he's like Flare Blitz, Flare Blitz, Focus Blast, Grass Knot, U-Turn, or Earthquake, something like that. But hopefully Serendipity 3 can handle some good stuff. So I really needed to do some good work and stay alive. Next up, we got Euphonic this week. Euphonic running a leftover set with the Pressure ability, Thunderbolt, Toxic, Calm Mind, and Substitute. Enough speed on here for Superior again. 252 in special defense to make myself especially bulky as possible, and then the rest thrown into HP just to complement my all-around bulk. Euphonic's got a massive role to fill this week. This is my main switch in response to dealing with Suicune. Suicune totally messes me up. I don't really know what set it's going to be, but Euphonic needs to be around to handle Suicune. So Thunderbolt is doing a decent chunk. With my special defense investment, uninvested Suicune, if we're at the same level of investment, +1, +2, that sort of deal, he won't be able to break my sub, and I can play this little game of pressure stalling with him. I can Calm Mind up, I can Toxic, stuff like Lantern and Rhyperior coming in. So Euphonic, I really need him to do good work. It threatens a lot of stuff on his team, but its main job is there for that Suicune, because I cannot let Suicune just PP stall me into oblivion, because that's something he'll win. Because obviously pressure is just so annoying, and I don't have a lot of PP on other stuff. And outside of Serendipity, Scald Spam is pretty free against my team, so I cannot let that happen. So if I lose to Suicune because Raikou went down, I will be pretty sad. But hopefully that doesn't happen. Raikou is looking to be pretty good. Next up, we got Renata, the Indeedee, coming with a Choice Scarf set with Psychic Surge, Expanding Force, Dazzling Gleam, Psyshock, and Healing Wish. Like I said, his only switch into Expanding Force really is Guzzlord or a really specially bulky Sylveon. So Expanding Force is looking really good. Dazzling Gleam is there for the Guzzlord. Psyshock hits especially defensive Sylveon. And then Healing Wish is to heal up probably Raikou or Euthanasia in the late game if they're being chipped down by stuff like Toxic and Rocks and stuff like that. I can Healing Wish, get them in, heal them up. They'll heal up before they take the Rocks damage, which is really good. So if they're below 25 or 12 respectively, I can heal them up, get them in, and put on some more pressure. So I really need that option, mainly for Euphonic. If Suicune's still sitting in the back, I cannot let Suicune just be able to PP stall me in the late game. But otherwise, Renata's really looking good to bonk some stuff. It outspeeds stuff like Non-Scarfed Infernape, Mega Gallade. So really hope Renata does some good work. And then last but not least, we're rocking Kial the Hitmontop, running a Leftovers Intimidate set, fully physically defensive, with Close Combat, Rapid Spin, Toxic, and Protect. This is my main switch into Infernape, physically offensive Infernape, or just, as a baseline. If Infernape comes, he's probably physical just with Grass Knot. He's probably Flare Blitz, Close Combat, Grass Knot, U-Turn with Choice Scarf. So I can switch in. Intimidate will make me take a Flare Blitz pretty well. If he's Life Orb, he'll take a lot of recoil from that. Close Combat threatens that pretty hard. Rapid Spin is for any Stealth Rocks he sets with Rhyperior. This is another solid Rhyperior switch in if I don't want to switch in Windshear. Toxic is there for going into stuff like Lantern or Suicune or Sylveon. And then Protect is to just scout some stuff, as well as giving myself some more Leftovers recovery and chipping stuff down with Toxic. So I really need to keep Kial around. I'm only running Rapid Spin on this. I couldn't fit Serendipity. I couldn't fit Defog onto Serendipity. I needed the other moves I had. So hopefully Kial can do his job. I believe in him. He's done a great job this season. So that's the team we're rocking with. This is going to be a really scary match. I think I have a good squad to take him on this week, and I believe in my prep, but Suicune can just turn the tide of any match. So can Mega Gallade. So this is going to be a really scary game. I got to stay on my toes the entire time, especially with some whack prep that, Crann might have brought, something along the lines of that counter Rhyperior, or, something of the sort. So with all that out of the way, let's hop into the playoffs. Catch you guys there. Alrighty, guys, we're about to hop into the semifinals matchup against the St. John Sharpedos and Coach Crann. You can see the 6 I expect him to bring up on the screen: Infernape, Sylveon, Rhyperior, Mega Gallade, Suicune, and Lantern. You've seen the 6 I am bringing and why I am bringing them. If you haven't, go check out the Teambuilder, but let's hop into this. This is going to be a really scary match. I believe in my prep, but at the same time, I'm still pretty spooked, so here we go. Alright, let's do it. Okay, from a lead perspective, he could either lead Infernape, because it's probably Choice Scarf, and he can just pivot out. He could lead Duraludon to set rocks. He could lead Superior just because it threatens a lot of my stuff. But seeing Superior is, again, it's like Suicune where it can just turn the tide of a match. So I got to make sure I play my Togekiss incredibly well. But I think I like leading Kyall. It matches up pretty good against the Infernape, which is what I would probably expect him to lead. It also matches up relatively decent against Duraludon, but seeing Duraludon kind of spooks me. That thing actually messes me up because I don't have a good switch into it, to its coverage. Draco, Flash Cannon, and Thunderbolt hits my entire team incredibly hard. So, and I don't have a good answer to just kill it. I got Renata, and that's pretty much it. So, let's lead Kyall. Hopefully he doesn't lead Duraludon. He leads Infernape. Alright, I'm gonna get some intel on this thing. If I were to guess, he just goes into Sylveon. So I'm gonna toss off a Toxic. Hopefully he just U-turns out. If I see Fire Blast and he smacks me, then I'm in trouble. But hopefully he just U-turns out or something like that. He's just gonna go hard into Sylveon, hit the Toxic. Excellent. Alright, I'm gonna protect and see what he wants to do. He's just gonna go straight for Hyper Voice, that's fine. And now I'm just gonna go straight into Togi. This is my response to this. I can calc some investment on this guy. Togekiss comes out. He just goes hard into Lax. Well, I'm going to go back into... I can either go into Kyall or I can go into Windshear. Realistically, if I had Body Press, that'd be great, but I don't. But Kyall can threaten pretty hard with a CC. So let's do that. I'm going to get an Intimidate off. He's going to go straight for Body Slam. Don't para me. Doesn't do a whole lot. I can Toxic this thing, or he could have Immunity, or I could just go straight for a CC. So I'll go for Close Combat. He probably just goes into Sylveon, but I can chip that thing for a little bit more and then go right back into Serendipity. I can also calc investment on that Sylveon coming back out, but nothing else he has really wants to take a CC. Mega Gallade is pre-Mega. He doesn't really want us. Let's see how much this is going to do. Does 25% to Sylveon. If I were to bet that's specially defensive... Oh, yeah. 25. Yeah. That was... Okay, so he's definitely specially defensive. I'm going to go straight into Serendipity again. He's going to toss off a Wish this time. And I can either just go for an Air Slash. He probably just goes into Snorlax. Or I can go for a Dazzling Gleam as well. I don't want to make an aggressive double, because if he just goes for a Hyper Voice, that'd be bad. So I'm just going to fire off an Air Slash. He's just going to protect. That's fine. Well, he's gonna keep taking some good damage from Toxic. So I went for Air Slash. He can go into Lax or Duraludon or just throw off another Wish. I'm just gonna go for Air Slash and see what he wants to do. He's just gonna go into Duraludon. Okay, well, here's the thing. He's gonna probably go for Flash Cannon here. It's gonna mess something up, but Euphonic is okay to switch in because I don't see Suicune and I don't really need it for my job. So please don't click Draco, please. He's going to go for Dragon Tail. Interesting. Alright, well, he spits me out into freaking Togekiss again. That kind of sucks. What? Dragon Tail. So he's phasing with Stealth Rock, I guess. If he went for Iron Head, okay. That's really interesting. Well... I mean, Dazzling Gleam will do a lot to Duraludon. So I'm going to just click that, see what else he's got. Because I should be able to take any hit from this thing, even if it's like a Flash Cannon. I'll take it, relatively well. If he goes for Iron Head, that'll tickle. But seeing Dragon Tail is really interesting. Yeah, that's uninvested Dragon Tail. He's probably phasing with Stealth Rocks for Mega Beedrill, if I were to guess. Because, he doesn't have Rhyperior, so I figured Duraludon had a pretty good chance coming. There's the Flash Cannon. Let's see how much this Dazzling Gleam does. It does 45. That did 51. Oh my god. Well, I'm going to go... Man, that's not good. That's really bad. This Duraludon is completely sending me for a loop. But I need Togekiss around for Sylveon. The thing is, can Euphonic take a Drake? I don't even know what this thing has besides... Let's assume he's like Shuka or something to take a Drill Run. I can take a Draco and then double back into Euphonic, into Serendipity. He's gonna go for Flash Cannon again. I scare this thing pretty good with an Aura Sphere right now, so I want to go for a sub and see what he's gonna do. If I were to bet he goes out into, he's just gonna go straight into Lax. Well, I'm going to go for Toxic and see if he's Immunity. Please don't be Immunity. He is. Okay, that's fine. He's going to go for Body Slam and break my sub. That's fine. Well, I'm going to go into Wind Shear. I can threaten Sylve if he wants to double out, and I can also... He's going to go for Curse. Oh, God. Just kidding. Harden to Kyall, and I got to start trying to smash this thing before it kills me. That's bad. That's super bad. Yeah, if he's like physically invested, close combat's not doing anything. And he's going to do a lot to me with Body Slam. That was a misplay. I should have just gone straight into Kyall seeing that. That was setup fodder for setup Snorlax. I should have brought Body Press here, but I didn't. So this thing's going to... Oh, he just doubles into Gallade. Okay. Well, he was expecting the... I just revealed that I don't have Body Press. So I'm going to go back into Wind Shear to take the CC or the Zen. If he goes for Thunder Punch immediately, okay. The Mega, he's going to go straight for Bulk Up. I'm going to click Brave Bird. Let's see how much this does. But honestly, a Drain Punch... Depends on what he's got. Going to go for knockoff. He's going to knock off my leftovers. This Brave Bird's going to tickle. It does 43. I think a close combat kills me. But Euthanasia can revenge afterwards, and I don't need this thing for anything else, so I'm going to go for it again. But I got to get Euthanasia in and start clicking some buttons. I'm glad I scared out that Snorlax, but that Infernape is definitely scarfed. Gonna go for CC and he's gonna kill me. Alright, well, Wind Shear goes down. Euthanasia is gonna come out. Even if he's got Shadow Sneak, that'd be bad, but I'm just gonna go for a U-turn. He can go in that Duraludon. He's probably Helmet. Oh, I just killed it with a crit. I don't know if that crit mattered, but I can go in Serendipity and try to Roost. I can go into Renata and pressure a lot of stuff. Or I can go into Euphonic and try to sub up. No, if I go into Euphonic, that Snorlax comes out. If I go into Kyall, Sylveon comes out. Man, that Gallade, though, is such an issue. He's at 43, though, which means Euthanasia revenges every time. Renata is also in a position to do some decent work. I'm going to go into Renata because he's seen nothing on this thing yet. He doesn't know what I am. I can set up Psychic Surge so that he can't priority me with Gallade on Euthanasia. So if I were to bet that Infernape comes out and he's going to click U-turn, so I'm just going to go hard into Kyall. If he goes into Sylveon, I'm going to click Psyshock, because that'll do a lot. If he goes into anything that's not Infernape, I'm going to click Psyshock. Man, that Snorlax is not going to take a lot from a Psyshock. If he goes into Snorlax, I have to go hard back into Kyall and try to click CC. But that Snorlax has the capacity to severely mess me up. And I don't have a switch into Gallade anymore. If he goes into Gallade at any point, I have to sack off Raikou. My sacks in order are Raikou and then Renata. Because I need Hitmontop around to stop Infernape. I need Togekiss around to stop Sylveon and Togekiss, but Infernape, he goes straight into Lax. Let's see how much Renata's going to do to this thing with a Side Shock. It does literally nothing. I have to go hard to kill. See what he goes for. He's just going to go straight for Body Slam. Don't parry me. Well, that's bad. I'm going to click Close Combat. If he goes into Pinky, he can try to heal up Gallade, which would be really bad. I can also make an ungodly aggressive double into Ninja. That would be that's really aggressive. And then I can U-turn, or just click from there. He doesn't have a switch into Poison Jab. That's incredibly risky. He's at -1. That too, man, that's so much. That's through Intimidate, max defense, and he still did 25% to me. Yeah, that's I cannot believe that he took. Wait, no, he's like he's max attack. I don't know how that's doing so much. He's max attack adamant with Curse. Okay. Well, at -1, Beedrill could take 1 if he went for it again. If I were to bet, he just goes straight into Sylveon and tries to Wish. I'm going to make an incredibly aggressive play and go into it. Oh, he goes into Gallade. That's fine. I get a free U-turn here, and this will kill. Well, not exactly what I expected, but that's totally okay. He's either got a... I want a Poison Jab or U-turn. If I were to bet, he sacks this off. If he doesn't sack this off and he goes into Sylveon to take the U-turn, he's a god. Frankly, what I would do is sack off Superior. I don't know what that thing's doing for him. If I go for Poison Jab, Infernape comes out, so I can Poison Jab and then either have a safe switch into Kial or a sack on I gotta keep Kial as healthy as possible for Snorlax, so I'll sack off Euphonic. But I think I like Poison Jabbing and then having a solid switch in and not having him have the momentum. So I'm gonna click Poison Jab. That's what I'm gonna do. He can't Shadow Sneak me. He's not faster than me. So I think I'm okay with this play. This battle is not progressing at all like I expected. I expected a completely different thing. Or he's just gonna go straight into Lax. Let's see how much this does. Oh, I crit him again. Oh man, that did a lot. I don't think that mattered. That would have been a 2-shot on Poison Jab anyway. Yeah, it depends on his investment. If he was max HP, no defense, that was a 2-shot, so it didn't matter. Infernape comes out. My play is to go into Euphonic and sack it off, and then go into, or see what he clicks. So, because, I mean, actually, no, Snorlax is dead. Snorlax is dead. So Kial's my play. I can get an Intimidate off, see what he goes for. Either make a double or click CC. He's just going to go straight for Flare Blitz. That is most definitely Choice Scarf. So he went for Flare Blitz. He can either go into Sylveon, click it again, and chip me down. He did 33. He could also just switch hard into Pinky over here. I don't think he clicks it again, and I want to keep this thing around. I don't want to just CC straight into Sylveon, because then he gets a Wish up. So he cannot Wish safely into anything on this team. If I go hard into but I want to go into Serendipity. But if I need Serendipity, so I'm just gonna click CC. If Sylveon, oh, he goes into Superior. Oh, I got another crit, dude. I'm really sorry. Wow. I don't know what's going on. My play is to go into. I can go into Serendipity. If he goes straight for Leaf Storm here. If he's Choice Scarf. This won't do anything. If he sets up a sub, that's bad. But I gotta make sure I can beat Infernape. I gotta calc how much Infernape is gonna do to Renata. And keep it. Flare Blitz. Oh god. Flare Blitz has a chance to kill me even from full. Not at -1 though. I gotta keep this thing around. I'm going to go into Serendipity because if he glares Euthanasia, the game is over. He's just gonna go for Giga Drain. Okay, that's totally cool. I'm gonna click Roost. He probably goes into Sylveon here. Yep. And as much as I hate to do this, I'm going to try to scum the hell out of this Sylveon. I'm gonna smash Air Slash until it gets free. Oh, that didn't take long. Oops. I'm gonna click it again until the Toxic starts ramping up to where I have to click Heal Bell. But if I get this flinch, then he dies. Flinch, please. Yes! Alright, well, Sylveon's dead. And I don't need Serendipity anymore. So, I'm so sorry that I just rooted for hacks, but that's what I needed. I really needed Sylveon to do stupid Sylveon things. With that's Superior. I don't know what he is. He shouldn't be able to touch Euthanasia. Euthanasia bodies Gallade. And I just gotta not lose to Infernape clicking Flare Blitz a bunch of times. I just gotta make sure I can keep Hitmontop around so that I can get it in on Infernape, get the Intimidate off, and then have it like die or sack off something else to get into Renata to click Expanding Force. Because it's literally like it's a 6.3 chance to kill. But if that were to happen, I would put my head out the window and just cry. But I'm very sorry, Crann, for the 3 crits and the multiple flinches. No one wants to deal with that in a regular battle, let alone semifinals. But M-Gal comes out, hard into Euphonic, try to sack that off. Because I can use this thing for Superior. If he starts bulking up, that's okay. I'll outspeed this thing. I can click Thunderbolt. That'll do a decent chunk. He's just going to go straight for Zen and kill me. That's totally okay. I'm going to go into Euthanasia. And I'm going to click U-turn into Renata. Boink. So, actually, I don't want to go into Kial because Kial invites out Serp. Renata has a very good chance to live a hit from Infernape. Serendipity from Infernape. Serendipity has a decent chance to live a hit from Infernape if he's Flare Blitz and he doesn't have Gunk Shot. I gotta play this so smart. Because he can go, if I go into Renata, he can go for U-turn, chip me, go out into Superior, take the E-Force, go back out. And at that point, I can get a -1. And then Serendipity could kill him. I'm going to go into Serendipity because it invites out Infernape. I'm going to click Air Slash and see what happens. Alright, I'm going to go into Serendipity. Oh, I forgot about Toxic. Well, this thing's going to kill me. Most likely. Yep, Infernape comes out. I can either go into Kial now, or I can stay in and most likely die to a Flamethrower. To a Flare Blitz. What happens if I stay in and he goes for Flare Blitz and kills me? I go out into Renata and I can take the hit, or I force him to switch out into Superior. Superior dies. This thing has to come in and lock into a move. I'm going to stay in and click Air Slash. He just goes straight for Flare Blitz. He kills me. Okay. I'm going to say this for the camera, because if this happens, I'm going to cry. 94% of the time, I live this hit, and he dies. Oh, he wasn't even Choice Scarf. Oh, okay. Well, that was anticlimactic. But, I mean, I'm okay with it. He was either Choice Scarf with not enough speed for Scarf and DD, or he must have been like Choice Scarf with just enough speed for Beedrill, if I was guessing. But Renata should be able to pick up the last kill. Okay. Well, now that's definitely game, I believe. E-Force is going to come off from Indeedee. I should be able to take a Leaf Storm from Superior. Nope. Didn't matter. GG's. That's a riveting win. We're into the finals. Great game to Crann. Man, moving on in the ISL. That was nerve-wracking. That didn't go off at all like I expected. But holy hell. Dang. Wow, what a game. What a game. That was so scary, man. I thought that Snorlax was going to mess me up. I thought that Infernape was going to clean me. But GG's to Crann. Great game. Thanks for getting this in with me. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the battle, leave a like. Subscribe if you guys are new. And I'll catch you in the finals of ISL. Take care.